Hello, Oracles! This was the day we have been waiting for. We have been waiting for Tesla to come back like we know it as of old. Tesla was up 9.8%, closing at $815. Awesome reaction to earnings yesterday. So now, what are we looking for in the stock going forward? So now we're looking to find that new range that we are going to be trading in. So I'd mentioned it before that we're still most likely going to be trading along with the macro environment. Today we saw that little bit of a breakout, which was expected due to earnings, and we weren't sure. Like I said before, we were waiting to see if we were going to get a breakout or a breakdown. Today we got that breakout, which was great to see. So now we are going to be looking to see where Tesla is going to be settling to find this new range. The previous range was 620 to 770, and then that started to consolidate down, and then we got our breakout. Now we need to find a new range. So yes, it was awesome to see us going up. We now have a gap that was created down to 742.50. Now gaps do fill 9 out of 10 times. Whether this one fills or not, we have yet to see. Still a lot of things going on in the macro environment, so we may end up pulling back and finding that range, but again, 742.50 was a new higher low, which is excellent. And as we've been tracking all along, these gaps have been going higher and higher over the last few months. So now the low gap is 742.50, and the previous one was 695. So awesome news, awesome trends that we are following right now, still moving up. So if we can create 742 as the new low in this range, now we just need to find the top end. So how do we find the top end? Well, we just have to wait and see where we're going to go. As of this point right now, the RSI is at 66, so we do still have a little room to go up before we get to that overbought stage at 70. Now, it doesn't mean that once we hit 70, we have to sell off, and it doesn't also mean that we have to get to 70 before we sell off. And we do have a gap up to 865. So historically in the past, we have sometimes seen the RSI push well over 70 before we hit a specific mark, and then we sell off down below that. So perhaps 865 is that mark. So tomorrow is Friday, end of the week. Sometimes we get a Friday fade. Maybe we run up and bump up over 865 and then we sell off into the end of the day. Maybe we get a little bit of a pullback tomorrow and some profit taking. That is totally normal and totally natural. That's what happens. We'll see how tomorrow plays out, but we can push up a little bit higher. So now at this point, we're trying to find the top end. And as of right now, it looks like 742 might be the bottom. So we'll just track it going forward. A lot of stuff going on over the next couple of weeks. We've got the annual shareholder meeting coming up, the rest of Q2 earnings, FOMC meeting, GDP data, lots of things going on that can move the stock one way or another. We had mentioned it before that we could see some volatility and some 3% up and 3% down days back to back. Could happen. So again, this is just where we're going to be finding our new range. And what's nice is the range will be higher than it was before, and there was a lot of volume that came out today. 47 million shares trading hands. That's significant. That is, normal average is around 26 to 27 million. So this is 20 million more than normal. This is awesome to see. So now again, we're just going to track it, see where we find our new range. It's just a matter of finding some new footing. So we'll have our ups and downs, not a big deal. Finding this new range, and then we'll probably get to a point where we're going to consolidate again and be facing the same thing, which is, are we going to break out or break down? Again, don't know how long it's going to take before we get there, but we've got the annual shareholder meeting. We've got potentially the split coming at the end of August. So we've got some good stuff coming, and based upon the numbers that we saw, we are looking at a potential monster Q3 and Q4 to close out the year. And today was super exciting for me because we pushed up and I had been lowering my cost basis. My cost basis was brought down under $800 to $794. So I am now green again in Tesla. Let me know in the comments below if any of you went green today or where your cost basis is and what you need to go green. So let me know in the comments because that was exciting. And I want to go back, and there were some questions that were being asked, and I had mentioned about how on the conference call, Drew Baglino had mentioned that they were going to be up to 1,000 batteries produced per week by the end of the year. So I wanted to correct it and clarify that is 1,000 battery packs that are created. because I was asked in the comments, I think it was by Mark, and I apologize if it wasn't you, but I was asked, because 1,000 batteries, a 4680 battery pack, based on what we know, takes about 600 to 800 batteries for one pack. So if they were only going to be putting out 1,000 batteries per week, that was like a car, one vehicle per week, which is not exciting at all. But 1,000 battery packs per week, that is exciting, because that's 1,000 4680 vehicles per week getting pumped out by the end of the year. So again, more awesome positive fundamental news. And as expected, the day after earnings, we got a lot of different price target changes. This weekend, I'm going to be going through my valuation model and updating my price targets for the end of the year, and just going forward to see where we're at based upon the numbers that we just got. So looking at a lot of the different changes that we got, so we had Mizuho with a buy rating who increased their price target from 1150 to 1175. We have Wells Fargo who has an equal weight rating and raised their price target from 820 to 830. Baird decreased their price target to 949. They were at 1108. We also have Berenberg, who increased their price target to 900 from 850. They have a hold rating on the stock. We have Canaccord, who just initiated coverage on Tesla recently at 801, already increasing their price target to 815 and a buy rating. And then we've got Coven, who increased their price target from 700 to 733. So awesome things that are going on, lots of price upgrades, lots of people looking to buy the stock. We saw that with the 47 million shares trading hands today. So again, this was the tough quarter. Tesla got through it. The numbers going forward should look great. So now we look to the past, and in history, every time Tesla has had amazing earnings, the stock has sold off. Well, now these earnings were amazing, but they were in a tough quarter, so definitely challenging, and quarter over quarter weren't as good, but the stock went up significantly. So again, I don't know how it's going to react in Q3, but this is where we pay attention to the fundamentals. And fundamentally, the second half of this year is looking stellar. Looking at production numbers coming out of this, just kind of working up some math based on what they had talked about on the earnings call. And Elon said by the end of the year, they should be getting to 40,000 vehicles produced per week by the end of the year company-wide. And he said Austin and Berlin should have 5,000 per week each out of those factories. Now we also know that Shanghai is going to be bumping up from 17,000 per week to 22,000 per week. We do not know how long it's going to take for that an increase in ramp to take place, but they're basically going to have at least 4 months to make that happen. So whether they actually get to that at the end of the year or not, we don't know. But if you take even 20,000, add on the 10,000 that we have from the other two factories, that means that Fremont would be putting out 10,000 vehicles per week. But based on the numbers that we've been seeing out of Fremont, they're right now basically at 11,000 vehicles per week. So looks like there's a lot of buffer room for the end of the year. So their goal is to get to 40,000 vehicles per week, and which is 2 million vehicle run rate by the end of the year. I have a feeling they're sandbagging a little bit in there because, they're looking at they could potentially get higher in Austin and Berlin. 5,000 is on the low end of what they initially wanted to ramp up to by the end of the year. Elon was saying they wanted to get between 5 and 10,000 vehicles. He's now lowered that to 5,000 as the baseline. So maybe they're ramping slower, maybe they're sandbagging. Don't know, but we'll find out. Then we've got the Shanghai, which again, they're pushing up to 22,000 per week by the end of the year. They have been known to ramp very quickly, so they could very well get to that 22,000. And Fremont is already pushing 11,000 per week right now. Probably not looking at a large increase in growth out of them, but even if they push up to 11,500 or 12,000 per week, that could be putting us at a significantly higher level. And if you increase these things just a little bit, and you say, let's say Austin and Berlin get to 7,500 vehicles per week each, that's 15,000 vehicles per week out of the two of them combined. We've got Shanghai, let's see it does get to 22,000 per week. That puts us at 37,000, and then if you say, let's say Fremont stays the same at 11,000, now we're looking at 48,000 vehicles per week by the end of the year. That's almost a run rate of 2.5 million. So again, that is if things go perfectly well. They have already said on the earnings call that, they're looking to be able to get to that point maybe by the end of the year. I don't know if they're sandbagging. I don't know if they're just being honest because they do see challenges ahead for them. But there's going to be a wide range, and it looks like the lower end of that range is still going to be looking at 2 million vehicles to potentially 2.5 million vehicle run rate by the end of the year. And I will be updating my production forecast this weekend as well. So I will be putting that over on Patreon. I do have a Patreon over there, so I do put over there my production forecasts, my price target forecasts, my income and investment statements. All of that's over there if you guys want to join. That link is down in the description. And Kairav also, I'll be working with him. He does a lot of great production and delivery forecasts as well. He's over on our Discord channel if you want to check him out. He is also over on Twitter at a TSLA. So he has very accurate numbers also. And actually, Kairav, if you're watching, let me know in the comments here how accurate you were based off of Q2's numbers and what your predictions were. So overall, today was absolutely amazing. What a great day to see today. This is something we have been waiting a long time for. So for those of you who have been patient, been trudging through all of this, today is the day we get to celebrate. Today was awesome. Now we get to move on. What's the next step? Let's take a look at the next step. That's the annual shareholder meeting. We'll start working our way up to that and then just keep on paying attention to these fundamentals because this is just the beginning, folks. We are just starting this journey and we are going to go on it and it's going to be awesome. Let me know in the comments below, how did you guys feel about today? Did you get a chance to dive back into the earnings report and maybe you found some other little nuggets of information that you want to share? Put those down in the comments. Let me know. Let's celebrate. Big party time today. Otherwise, I will see you guys all later. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support and feedback. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. I am over on Twitter again. I'm over there at OracleTim1. Kairav is over there at a TSLA. We've got our Discord chat. Again, that link is in the description. Patreon link is in the description. Thank you all to the patrons who are over there already. And thank you all again. Have a great one.